Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Nest, the first edition for baseball for 2020-2021. I'm joined today over the phone with 20th year head coach Mike Stockton. Coach, thanks for taking just a few minutes time out of your day to sit down and talk a little baseball with us.
Hey, my pleasure. Glad to be here.
Talking baseball a little bit sooner than normal, but anytime we can talk sports after the last 6 months, it's a good day. We kind of asked all the spring coaches this, but it's a little bit the same, but a little bit different for everybody. You, along with tennis and track, softball, golf, are some of the sports that were the most heavily impacted by the spring season because you lost your season altogether about 10, 15 games in. Tell us what was that like? You know, you're in your 20th season this year, but year 19 was certainly one for the books. You were one of the most veteran coaches and have probably dealt with just about everything a coach may have to deal with in their career, and then this happens. So what was that like for you?
Well, I feel like after, 20 years of coaching, you feel like you've seen a lot of adversity, but nothing compared to what we went through this year. At first it was, you just felt like someone was going to call at any moment and give you the nod to get back on the field. Oh, this will pass. Oh, let's let a week go by. Oh, we'll let 2 weeks go by. Well, once we get through spring break, then we'll get back out on the field. You had that sense that someone was going to pick up the phone and tell everybody that it's okay to get back out there. And, as about 3 weeks went by, it really started to set in that this is not going to happen. And that was just really, really tough. Someone asked me, they said, Coach, when was the last time that you were not on a baseball field in the spring? And I was like, oh gosh, like probably in 1985. So it's been a long time since I wasn't on the baseball field in the springtime. But it was very difficult to deal with, and your heart goes out to all those kids that didn't get to finish it. We all understand in sports that it always comes to an end, but at least with that end, you have a say in it, right? You get to go down swinging, you get to go down throwing that last pitch. Now, it might not work in your favor, and so it comes to an end because you lost on the field, but at least you had that opportunity, and COVID-19 took that all away from us.
Absolutely. I played college softball, and so I just really, really felt bad for our seniors, especially when my career ended. I knew the day I woke up that was my last game. I knew it was the last time I was getting to put on a uniform and put my cleats on and play catch. And our seniors just didn't have the opportunity to do that, and just heart breaks for them, but you do have 3 seniors that have made the decision to come back and take advantage of that year of eligibility that was returned to them. Max Stevenson, Thomas Henley, and Shane Cavallo, all key pieces of the pitching staff over the last couple of years. Tell me what kind of went into their decisions and how excited are you to have them back?
Oh, wow. I'm so excited to have those guys back. They are really the epitome of what we are trying to build as a baseball player at William Jewell. Just, great competitors, tough kids. They're strong. They're mentally strong. They're physically strong. They understand the culture. So they are perfect pieces to have back. I tell them all the time how, you're kidding me? You get a redo? How awesome is that? Somebody could just come up to me and say, hey, guess what? You get to go back and play another season. That's like winning the lottery to me. So, but we're very, very blessed to have these 3 guys back, and just excited for what they're going to bring in their leadership, and the influence that they're going to have on their teammates this year.
Definitely. 3 just outstanding young men that I've got the opportunity to know, and just like you said, it's all around outstanding. So we are obviously prepping and very, very hopeful for a renewed and complete 2021 season. But we do have baseball activities this fall, but it's not a normal fall for you. So, baseball is a good thing in a way that while you don't get to have outside competition, there's a lot you can do out of the field and maintain that social distancing and things like that. So talk to us a little bit about what fall baseball looks like this year.
Yeah, well, obviously there are some differences that we have to do because of COVID-19. But in the big picture, we are not really being all that affected as some of the other sports are, just based on the fact of how baseball, through the game itself, social distances, right? I mean, the third baseman and the shortstop are already social distanced at a space that's acceptable to everyone. So it really is going to allow us to kind of, I mean, nothing is normal right now, but it really gives us an opportunity to practice pretty much as a standard practice that we would hold. It's the challenging parts are, before practice starts and when practice is over, how do we create enough space and keep our guys aware that they need to be social distance. But, when it's practice time, like I don't think that things are going to affect us in a big, big way, the way that maybe some of the other sports are affected. So I'm very fortunate for that.
Yeah, I've kind of been thinking about that, and it is kind of the silver lining in that most of those sports that were affected in the fall or in the spring, baseball, softball, tennis, track, golf, are all sports that can be played kind of distanced, and so you guys aren't dealing with the changes quite to that level, and so it's not redeeming in that you don't get your season back, and things certainly aren't normal, but it is a little bit of a silver lining that you guys more than others are getting the opportunity to have a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things that our returning players are struggling with is not what's going to be going on in practice. It's more the weight room. Mm-hmm. Our weight room culture is very important to William Jewell baseball, and that is where the biggest shock, I think, is coming right now is the way that we have to social distance in the weight room and be apart from one another there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely different. I know it's something that a lot of our athletes are struggling with, but also doing their very best to make those adjustments, which is much appreciated across campus. Let's talk a little bit about your recruiting class. You've got a pretty good sized class and guys that are kind of coming from all over. You've got your Kansas City guys, but you also got guys coming from, Illinois and Texas and as far away as Curacao. So tell us a little bit about your recruiting class. What positions were you really focusing on? And you have any guys that you think are going to come in and help you out right away?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that I have guys from all over the place because the other night I was just browsing through Twitter and I saw a local college that kind of posted where all their players are from. And so it rose my curiosity. And so I started to look. I'm like, wow, we do have guys coming from all over the place. Which I thought was just so cool to bring so many different perspectives and cultures and places. That's such a fun part of being a coach is, seeing these kids from other places. But we have a pretty large recruiting class this year, and we had a pretty big graduating senior class. So we knew we've got to replace some of these key components. And, I feel really good about the guys that we've brought in. With any recruiting class, freshmen, there's just a huge learning curve. And that's why I feel so fortunate that, yes, we want to get out on the field. We want to be playing games. But I love having the fall to really initiate and bring guys into our program. It gives them, months to really kind of establish who we are and the things that are important to William Jewell baseball. It gives them a chance to learn. So, that's what we're doing right now with all of these young players is just really giving them an opportunity to kind of soak in what is the culture of William Jewell baseball, what are the things that are important to us. I don't know that I would want to single out anyone. I mean, I think that all of them have an opportunity to, the slate is clean, and they all have an opportunity to come in and, make an impact. And I certainly hope that that's what they do.
Absolutely. I've talked to some of the other fall sport coaches, and I think they are seeing some of the advantages of being a spring sport. Kind of once the shock wore off of their fall season being moved, of having that extra opportunity of having several months, like you said, to get your freshmen and your new people kind of ingrained in things rather than 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, I tease these fall coaches all the time. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how football and volleyball and soccer, you come in and you have, 2 weeks of practice and then you go out there on the court or the field and play. I mean, I couldn't do that. I love having all of this preparation time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I did as well as an athlete. And so it's a little bit of a silver lining, I think, for everybody getting that extra time, especially we have several first-year head coaches. And so getting that extra time after not getting spring workouts. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to sit down and talk a little baseball with us. And good luck with your fall workouts. And we'll see you again in just a few weeks.
Okay, sounds great.